Welcome back, another episode. All Kinds of Crazy, the third episode of Chicago Fire Season 13, is a decent, if unspectacular, installment that follows the same narrative lines from earlier episodes and properly ends some while leaving others open for development. Though he might have been able to find a home in Firehouse 51 due to Severide, Damon was possibly the easiest plot to solve because he never really fit in at 51. Thus, more promise than anything else is lost when he leaves. What benefits do we receive? It will depend on who replaces him, but if Kylie does, as she should, then we could finally have someone who really belongs at Firehouse 51 to occupy the empty space. And who knows, maybe Chief Pascal will get a chance to see what Firehouse 51 really can be, and maybe even carve out a space for himself there. The obvious issue with Pascal is that he is not a team player and doesn't appear to want to be, as shown in Chicago Fire Season 13, Episode 3 All Kinds of Crazy. But not being a leader makes it very difficult to hold one. Paradoxically, he exhibits a severe lack of leadership himself while trying to criticize Stella, of all people, for her lack of it. Instead of setting an example, he is merely attempting to issue commands in a unilateral manner without making an effort to comprehend what those who work for him are saying. The issue is that, rather than viewing everyone at Firehouse 51 as collaborators, Pascal views them as his employees. Of course, there has to be a hierarchy, but he can never truly be an effective leader if he doesn't feel like he belongs at Firehouse 51 and treats the people he works with as his team. In other words, he won't listen to them. Rather, he will simply continue to appear as though he is more knowledgeable than he actually is. Ultimately, he just sort of listens because Mouch kind of makes him. We shouldn't give him too much credit there, I think. But Damon is no longer with us, though I'm not sure I can forgive and forget that for a split second the Chief seemed to think that Stella was the issue, and that she should be the one to go. Whoa, what a poor character judge you are. Stella Kidd, poor management. If Pascal doesn't start examining himself in the mirror while leveling these allegations onto others, his 51-year-old problems will never get better. A contented spouse and life. The adage happy wife, happy life is well known. Paradoxically, it may be one area where Severide and Pascal actually agree, but sooner rather than later we may need to discuss Pascal going too far in that direction. However, the consequences of Chicago Fire Season 13, Episode 2 are discussed in this episode, along with Severide's choice to inform Stella of Damon's true identity. Naturally, Damon's side does not suffer from the aftermath. Severide would have chosen Stella anyhow. His family would always be his first priority. It's only that his wife is that family in this particular scenario, and Stella was a part of that family even before she was his wife. However, that doesn't imply that what he and Damon have in common isn't valuable or that they can't continue to grow closer. All it signifies is that Severide and Kidd's already greater and more powerful possession, and Kelly selected his wife when he had to decide what was more important at the time. Of course, Damon's defamation of Stella and his genuine disregard for her as a lieutenant made it simpler, but Severide had already made that decision. Really, one could argue that there was no option at all. He was merely attempting to give Damon the benefit of the doubt that he thought he wasn't given as a child, which is why he stumbled for a little minute. However, Severide came to the realization that he was truly making a decision by staying silent, and he informed his wife of the truth at that point. There was not another way. Do you agree? Not in agreement. What did you think of All Kinds of Crazy, the third episode of Chicago Fire Season 13? Tell us in the comments section below. For more videos, subscribe.